Hey everybody, Danny Bader just dropping in here, and I am coming to you from a beautiful lake in Minnesota where it is absolutely so peaceful this morning. And you know, one of the principles of Jackrabbit is to be still, and I came down here with a cup of coffee, sitting on the dock and certainly enjoying some stillness. And as I did, things come to mind, and I thought I'd share something with you that came to mind. Years ago, back in the late 80s and the 90s, I spent some time down in Avalon, New Jersey, with my family and my brothers and my cousins, and we used to go out and go surfing. And we met this young surfer. His name is Borek, and Brendan was younger than me, probably 6 years younger than me, and would hang out with my younger brothers and my younger cousins. And he was just one of these kids, even at a teenage year, you know, he just had it so together. You would just look and say, man, that's really a cool young person. And as life unfolds sometimes, he tragically got cancer. And he fought that battle with such grace and such dignity. And, you know, I was still amazed. We would be out in the water surfing, and he would come down. He had a bandana on because he lost his head to chemo. And he would take pictures of us. He was just so talented. He played soccer and took pictures, and he was an artist and everything else. And tragically, he lost that battle to cancer. And I remember it was in January 1991, I think, that we went down to the funeral, and it was in Avalon, and it was a January day, and it was beautiful, very, very clear blue skies, you know, just perfect, and very, very cold. And I remember, as you can imagine, the mass is unbelievable. The church is packed, and we go outside afterwards. We process outside, and the coffin, Brendan's coffin, is put into the car to take him to a cemetery, and we're all standing around. And the car doesn't start. It's like zhoo, 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 zhoo. The car's not turning over. And everybody's sitting there looking at one another like, what is happening? Zhoo, 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 zhoo. It doesn't start again. And you hear this feeble voice of Brendan's mom, a beautiful lady who's experiencing one of the most difficult challenges of life, right? Losing a child. And her voice kind of cries out and says, it's okay, Brendan. It's okay, Brendan. You can go. We love you. We know you're not. You left us too soon. You can go. And there's not a dry eye there. The Holy Spirit's raging around. Angels everywhere, I think. And then, sure enough, zoom, the car starts right up, and he goes off. But what I thought about and what I learned from this kid is it was summed up in what the priest said at the end of the sermon. He gave a beautiful sermon, and he challenged us all. And he said, you know the good thing we can take away from this? And everybody's sitting there going, wait, good, you know, passed away at 18? And the priest said, the good thing we can learn from this is that Brendan knew he was going to die. He knew he was going to die, and he didn't have to change one thing about how he was living. And here it is some 20 years later, 30 years later, and I'm sitting down here having coffee, and that continues to stick in my mind. So most of us don't know the day that we're going to move on to the next part of this journey, and some of us do, but the question is really strong for us to consider is how are we living our lives in all those areas of our relationship and our health and our connection to spiritual? How are we living our lives, and where might we need to do some work to change? So as I sit on this beautiful lake this morning with my coffee, I thought I'd just drop in and offer that to you. So peace, love you all, have a wonderful day.